Lori mentioned that that she feels like none of these issues that you have concern about have been brought to her attention, that you just called the police. Have you attempted, Diana, to talk to Lori directly?
Oh, absolutely. If not Lori, I've gone to the house and tried to talk to the persons at the house when the noise level was unbearable, and this is when they first moved in, and nobody answered the door. I knew there were people inside, and then after it kept reoccurring, I felt very uncomfortable and not very safe going over there. And when I've seen them on the street and tried to approach them, they're just very unapproachable and kind of hostile, not really wanting to interact or talk to me. So I have called the police as a resolution to this.
And you have regular police, I don't know what they call it.
The neighborhood's really a small community, and we have a neighborhood watch program that's set up through the sheriff's office. And so the neighborhood police officer, Bob, is familiar with the homes, familiar with the people who live there, and he's familiar with Lori and her family now. But he tries to deal with the neighborhood issues.
And Lori, have you met Officer Bob as well?
No, I have not met Officer Bob.
Okay. So I want to just kind of summarize your issues, and if I don't get them accurate, please bring that to my attention. So Diana, you're concerned that since Lori's arrival, that the neighborhood has become less quiet. That you're concerned about traffic. There's more vehicles on the street, up and down the street. That her yard is unkempt and it takes away from the beauty of the neighborhood.
Absolutely, and the property value also.
Okay. And that there's trash and whatnot that hasn't been picked up, and you're just concerned about the change in the neighborhood. Is that
yes.
fairly accurate? And then Lori, you're concerned that, and clarify if I'm wrong, that you haven't been given the opportunity to make the changes to the house that you would like to make. That was an agreement with your landlord, and that there are a lot of drivers in your house, and that you did acknowledge that there was a vehicle that was on the street that wasn't technically registered. And that, I believe you said your husband was currently unemployed?
Yes.
What does he do for a living?
He does general maintenance. He's like a handyman. He's trying to be a handyman. He did work for a very large construction company. He has a contractor's license. He's not bonded currently. But he is a general contractor. He does have a license, but he's trying to start a handyman business right now because of the economy. There's just no building going on.
It's a tough time for
yes.
people in construction. So that because of his current unemployment status, that there's some constraints financially for the family.
Well, there's constraints financially for us, and one of our concerns is that we put a deposit down, and we are renting the house, and they do credit checks. We've been there 6 months, and our landlord is upset with us because of the police being called, and at this point it would be difficult for us to find another home to rent because of the credit checks, my husband being unemployed, the deposit that's required to put down, and we're concerned that we're going to lose the house because of these, we consider, somewhat frivolous complaints. Although I do understand some of her issues, but they were not brought to my attention previously.
Okay. And you said you haven't met the local officer. So
no.
I would assume when the police are called, that's when you're at work.
I have not been home and the police have been called, no.
Okay.
I'm just going on what was told to me by my husband and my children.
Okay. What do you think, Lori, that Diana could do to help you with the concerns you have for the neighborhood?
I don't mind talking to her about the concerns. The problem is, like she said, that we're unapproachable, that every time she tries to talk to us, that we don't want to talk to her. The problem is that, you know, I think because she's retired, she's home all day, she doesn't really have a schedule. I have a very tight schedule. I work full time, I have 3 children in school. She can't just come out to my car as I'm driving out of the driveway and want to have this long, drawn out discussion. I have to be somewhere, and I admit, shut her down, but I didn't really understand. She just comes out and starts talking without really getting to a point, and I have to be somewhere. So she's gotten shut down, and I, you know, said, I will talk to you later. And, you know, I really haven't felt like I wanted to talk to her because it seemed like as soon as she came, it was just complaints.
Okay. So what I hear you saying is that she has approached you to talk about it, but you haven't had the time. You've been busy with getting the kids to school, and the times that she's approached you has not been a good time for you to discuss the issues with her?
Yes, it's the times. It's the times that she comes to approach me is when I'm trying to leave or to go to work or to take the kids to school.
Okay. And Diana, were you aware that she was heading out the door when you approached her?
No, I've never really met her and talked to her, and I was unaware that she was working. I really didn't know their family situation, and so from where I am, you hear the comings and goings and kids yelling, loud music, and most of it is like after 10 o'clock at night, and so obviously she's working, and I wasn't aware of that. And if I had an opportunity to talk to her or have some background of what she was going through, you know, I'm sure I might have handled things differently.
So, Lori, Diana mentioned the unkempt lawn, and you said that there were some financial concerns about, or you had some financial issues, so you weren't able to care for the lawn and take care of things that you had promised your son. Was that accurate?
The financial issues and also the weather. It is winter. You know, when spring comes along, we will be doing more. And our yard is, you know, there's been some limbs that have blown down. There's been a lot of really bad weather. In fact, Diana's whole fence in her backyard is blown down. It's laying across her yard.
That's true, and my fence fell, and I'm unable to do it myself, so I'm kind of at a loss how or who can help me, you know, to fix my fence.
You can kind of understand Lori's dilemma.
Oh, no, absolutely, but a lot of her issues weren't just over the winter, but I'm sure it's multiplied because of the bad weather.
Okay, I think what we're going to do right now is just take a little break, and then we're going to come back and look at some interests I think that you both have in common.